time when we're focusing very much on the year ahead. PRCA North West and PRCA Yorkshire members have expressed a specific interest in positivity and growth plans, both personally and professionally around PR. So PRCA Yorkshire reached out to the incredible Olga Geidane. You are, of course, a motivational speaker, award-winning author and mindset coach. So hopefully today you'll be able to enlighten us with a little bit of advice around positivity and growth and planning. So welcome, Olga. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you very much. Well, I think, Lee, actually, you said everything about me. Yes, I am a speaker. Yes, I'm a coach. I'm writing books. I also run retreats, couples retreats with my husband together, because we do believe that positivity starts at home. You know, when we come to work, it's already too late, because positivity started at home. And if we didn't start it, obviously, we're going to come back to work angry, disappointed, and all the rest of it. So I stand for positivity. I stand for working on ourselves. And about me, probably the best thing to say would be that I'm into growth. And I strongly, strongly believe that the more we grow, the happier and the more positive we can be. So about me, it's about transformation.
And are you always this positive? You know, obviously we're online, but I'm already sensing so much energy, positive energy.
Right. Well, I think this will be a question to ask my husband, because he will tell you that, of course not. It's not sustainable to always be positive. There's not always high tide. There's not constantly low tide, right? So of course we all have low moments and high moments, and we have medium moments. So it's about how do you deal with your low moments, right? Okay, it's great to be positive. And of course I like to be positive, but sometimes my energy levels goes down and I feel a little bit, not moody, but I feel calmer. I feel a little bit reflective. I feel a little bit like thoughtful. And I know this is my time then to grab my journal, to do my meditation for longer than usual, to go for my walks and reconnect with myself. There's nothing wrong with not feeling positive, but it is wrong to choose to stay in the negative state longer than you need. It's okay to drop, but it's not okay to stay. Remember that.
That's interesting. So you just mentioned something which I have been thinking about a lot lately, about reflection. And actually, when it comes to growth, personally and in business, reflection must play an important part of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How can you grow if you don't reflect on what has been done, what hasn't been done? If you don't measure, if you don't compare, if you don't look back, how can you know if you're doing great or not? But one thing what we reflect on always, everybody in the world, is, oh, how are the other people doing? Oh, somebody's doing better than me. That's bad reflection. Whenever you reflect on yourself versus others, you will always lose. Always, because you will always reflect based on somebody doing better than you, right? You never compare yourself with somebody who is doing worse than you, right? So it's really important to reflect on your life, but comparing yourself to your in the past, the version in the past versus version in the now, right? And also ask yourself, ask your future self, one day when I will reflect back, what do I want to see? Do I want me being committed to my dreams? Do I want seeing me being persistent? Do I want to see me working on my vision, on my dreams? Or do I want to reflect back and see that I gave up, that I did not choose me, that I chose to just live by? You know what I mean? So reflection is crucial in personal life and in the business. And if you want to be successful in the business, it is crucially important to compare and measure and ask yourself, what can we do better? Which area right now needs to be worked on? What can we do? And two questions are really important here. What can we start doing? What can we start doing from today, from now, from tomorrow, the latest, okay? Within 24 hours, I would say, as urgency. And what should we stop doing? Because if we carry on doing something that doesn't work, it's not going to get you anywhere. So two questions are really crucially important for reflection. What should I start, or what should I stop doing?
And how can we encourage positivity within a workplace? Because there's nothing worse than having, okay, everyone has the odd bad day, but like continuous grumpy colleagues, or that one person who comes in a negative mood, and then the whole environment around you changes. So how can we encourage positivity throughout a business culture?
That's a really good question, because ideally, of course, we want a one size fits all answer, right? We want to have a pill that actually you swallow and that will help everyone around the world, but it doesn't work that way. The best encouragement any leader, any manager, any supervisor can provide or give to their team is to be the leader of positivity. Because we are looking at our leaders and we read what is normal. And if a leader comes negative, annoyed, angry, pessimistic, whatever else, then we think this is normal. Okay, it's like children, we look at our parents and we copy them. We copy their attitudes, we copy their words and phrases and everything else, right? So it's really important to, for a leader, to lead with positivity. And again, let's remember, we all are humans. We come to work with our issues. We come to work with our problems. And if you see somebody as your work colleague next to you or across the table, not being okay, why not to come and ask, how are you? Is everything okay? I know there's lots of practices in organizations when it comes to mental health, but very often, unfortunately, they're done only for the tick box. How about being the organization that walk the talk about the well-being, and when it comes to somebody not feeling positive, not feeling okay, to offer them help? Because when you help somebody who is not feeling okay, and one after another people are dealing with whatever is happening in their personal or work life that is impacting their mood, is impacting their performance, the whole organization will just lift itself up. But start being a role model. As a leader, be a role model. Even if you're not a leader, be a role model to other people around you.
And I think smiling can be quite effective as well, whether it's pitching for new business. And I think the day that I see somebody smile at me, even on the way to work in a traffic jam or whatever, you know, it instantly lifts you, doesn't it? The power of a smile is such a simple tool in being positive and hopefully winning new business.
Absolutely. It's like, even if you do a little exercise, when you stand in front of the mirror and you just smile at yourself, your hormones inside of you will just change and shift. It's just chemical reaction, because the way how muscles work, they'll lift your muscles in your cheeks. That means your mood lifts up as well. And very often, sometimes probably you notice as well yourself, when you walk on the street, you look at somebody, you smile, and they smile back. And suddenly you have this rush of dopamine in your body. You think, oh, what's going on? They just smiled, right? And also when we just say thank you to our customers, or thank you to our colleagues, thank you, or thank you. That's a big difference, right? And the best thing about Smile is it's free.
It is free. That's a very good piece.
It's there. It's free. It's available. Let's use it.
So let's talk about being confident. So this is obviously for leaders across the business through to more junior positions and people. So not everybody is confident, and not everybody feels natural about that. You know, so many times I've gone into business pitches with other members of staff and colleagues, you know, who have just, you know, gone to bits because they don't feel confident, and it doesn't come naturally to everybody. What is your advice around that? Because obviously with confidence surely comes positivity and success.
Of course, high self-esteem, self-love, self-care, all of that comes together with confidence. So very often, and that one of the common reasons why people come to work with me, it is about confidence. Olga, I want to feel more confident when I present at work, or as a leader, I want to stand confidently in front of my team and delegate confidently. And they're always surprised when we actually start stripping down their personal life and go all the way back to their childhood. Because they say, Olga, I want to be confident at work. Why do we have to go back to childhood? And I always say the same thing. You cannot be confident at work and not confident in your personal life. Your work is impacted by your personal life. So in order to feel more confident, you got to deal with the reason why you are not confident anymore. Because as a child, you are born and you are confident. I mean, how much confidence it takes for you relentlessly to stand up until you walk? How much confidence takes for you to climb the trees and fall down, but climb again, or learn how to ride a bike? You are not aware, you're not confident until the moment somebody puts you down, bullies you, says something to you, tells you you're not good enough at something, and your confidence level, if it was at 100 when you were born, slowly but surely goes all the way down, as low as you allow it to go, right? It's never too late to start working on your confidence, but you got to go to the root of the problem. Why am I not confident? Since when I'm not confident? And surprise, surprise, once we find it, once we deal with it, once we replace that story with new empowering story, as a result, everybody gets confident. Everybody starts loving themselves. Everybody even loses weight and stops smoking and stop drinking alcohol, because again, that all impacts our work life. You know, when we're not confident, we start self-soothing ourselves with all different substances, which are impacting our performance at work. So answering your question is going all the way back to the source of that lack of confidence and dealing with that.
And I guess that feeds into self-imposter syndrome. And actually, I know so many members, actually, probably a bit later in life, it's come to them, that they just, a lot of people seem to lose confidence. And I'm not sure if that is something to do with COVID. And as you say, life knocks in life that people have along the way. But obviously, I guess your advice there would tie into self-imposter syndrome as well. In this business, as you know, we often talk about planning, long-term, medium-term forecasts, and obviously short-term. How important is it to focus on planning to achieve success, certainly in PR and comms within our industry? You know, on a wheel chart of what success would look like, I guess what sort of percentage would be on that chart when it comes to planning? And is it equally as important in your expertise to plan short term as much as long term?
Great questions. Not really one question, but a few questions. Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's start with how important. Okay, I would say it is as important as you choose that to be, right? If you ask me, I would say crucially important. But some people will say, oh, I don't like planning because I prefer just to go by in life, right? And I don't care how quickly I succeed and if I succeed at all, right? I don't care if I accomplish my goals and my plans or I don't, because I really don't care. As long as I just get by and live mediocre life, I am okay with that. So if it's not important to you to really level up in life, to be better, if for organization is not important to be the best in the industry, to have the best production or the best product or the best services, then planning is not really important. Scrap that, relax and enjoy your life. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you cannot enjoy life when you don't do planning, but probably a good example would be when we are going from A to B. Right? We are sitting in the car, and this is such a cliche example. Surely everybody heard about it, but that's why it's so powerful, right? And you look at the sat nav, and you are there, able to put anything, right? You would like to go from Leeds to London, right? But you obviously put London, right? Because this is your end destination. That's your goal, to go to London, right? And of course, you can just start driving randomly without putting a goal London for your sat nav to give you a route. Start driving randomly, left, right, center, backwards, forwards, do whatever until your fuel finishes. And then what? Right? So when you plan, it's like using your sat nav. I have the end goal. This is my route. Okay. Where should I stop if I run out of fuel? Should I stop somewhere to buy something if I need something for my meeting? Or if I'm going back home, should I buy some groceries or something else? Right? The same in your business. This is my end goal. This is the route, the plan, how to get there, what situations we might deal with, what might occur, what shall we just predict, or what shall we think about, right? And if you don't plan, it just will take you at least 15 times longer to get to where you are, where you want to be actually, right? From where you are. But if you do plan, it will make you more efficient. It will help you a lot to save your time and stress, because you'll be calm. You will just know what you should tick off the box, and also make you more resourceful, because you will know, okay, if I don't know how to do something, or if I don't have the expertise, I will outsource somebody who will help me to make my plan a reality, right? So planning is very important if you choose that to be important.
And I think also you just highlighted something else very important there about asking someone. And I think so many of us are guilty for not asking for support or asking for help, but obviously it's so important that we do. So obviously you work with life coaching as well, hugely. And you must meet many people who tend to survive, not thrive. And I have listened to some of your amazing podcasts where you've talked about this in detail. What are your top tips to somebody who in our industry is, you know, just chugging along, surviving, and they've lost themselves a little bit and they need to be thriving again? Does that start personally before professionally then?
Absolutely. Again, let's remember, we are always impacted in our workplace by something that happened or still happening in our personal life. Always. We cannot separate our work life from our personal life. Okay. So if somebody is not thriving in the work environment, very often, and I've seen that very, very, very often when I work with people, very often they're not just meeting their needs at work, right? We have 6 human needs, right? There's certainty and there's variety. There's love and connection and there's significance. There's growth and there's contribution. And if you're not meeting your needs at work environment, right, you will be more tend to just survive. If you're, let's say, into significance and you want to be praised, you want to be recognized, and you are not, then eventually your desire to really thrive at work will drop. And guess what? You will search for another workplace where hopefully you will be feeling significant, right? But if you're not feeling significant also in your life, you will already come to work with expectation, not being praised, not being recognized. And as a result, you're going to have even less desire to thrive, right? So I would always, always, always ask 2 questions. Okay, what happens at work that makes you to live below your potential, right? What exactly happens? What stops you from reaching your full potential? And what happens in your personal life, or what happened in your personal life? And usually you will see there'll be something from work environment, something from personal environment, where actually they two are linked together. So again, it's all about working on yourself and understanding what is happening that I don't have the desire to thrive. Because let's put it this way, as a child, you were naturally thriving. You naturally wanted to be the best at everything. And even if you remember the conversations you had, I am the Superman, I am so-and-so, I have the superpowers. You wanted to be super mega special. So what happened? What happened that you are not anymore, right? So dealing with the cause will help you thrive.
That's so true and very, very interesting. So Olga, obviously we know you work with top brands, CEOs. You've got many case studies of amazing testimonials of businesses and individuals you've worked with. Can you share any of your success stories with case studies? Obviously not naming them, but you know, what's been the most prolific change that you've seen?
Oh my God, the most prolific change probably was the authenticity that people are shining through when they start working with me. I remember one, it was particularly a quite high level person who is a director of international European organization. It's literally, the branches are in every single European country. He started working with me because he wanted to be a better leader. Very common case as well. I want to be a better leader. How do I grow the company even more? How do I become better, greater, and all of that, right? The ego-driven stuff, right? Which is perfectly fine. I'm not saying it's wrong. We rather be ego-driven rather than we want to cause pain for somebody else, right? So that's okay. And what happened when we started stripping down why he wants that? What's behind that? You know, what exactly is happening that he wants to be the best organization, the best everything. And he simply revealed to me that actually he was never praised as a child. And what he wants is just to be praised. What he wants is just to be recognized, right? And of course, he's trying to achieve that. He's trying to be the best at everything. But as a CEO, how often are you praised?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Exactly, right? It's your duty to praise others, but you know, you're recognized but not really praised. And it was really interesting to see his growth, that actually not only he ultimately and just automatically really became a better leader because he started loving himself more. He started respecting himself more. He started honoring himself more. Other people started becoming much better team members around him simply because he was more authentic. He became more honest. He became more open. He built a lot better relationships. So ultimately, we were not really working on strategies for business. We were working on himself as a personality. And as a result, not only the business was growing rapidly, but his personal life transformed completely. His relationship went to the next level. And he actually was secretly, without telling his wife, was thinking about divorce.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
So absolutely. So it wasn't only impact on the company, it was impact in the personal life, right? And when you think about it, when you work on yourself, you're not only changing yourself as a leader or not a leader, just an employee, you are creating a ripple effect. Because you're in touch with other people, right? You talk to them and you're a better version. You're shining the light onto those people. And then these people go away and they're in touch with many other people. They shine the light onto other people. You are inspiration for your children, for grandchildren. You're inspiration for your colleagues, for your siblings, for your parents. You become the one who is the light, like a lighthouse, right? So it's really powerful. And I have another more personal story from a lady who actually came to work with me. It was a few years ago now, but I keep watching her journey because she is just blooming like a beautiful flower now. She was suicidal. She was waiting from NHS for a very long time to get assigned to work with anybody, like a counselor at least. And she was waiting for 6 months, but she was suicidal and she came to work with me. She said, I give up. I can't wait any more longer. I got to do something. Enough is enough. And she was hugely overweight. She was struggling with her weight. She was struggling with her sexuality. There were many, it's more personal, but it's related to work. I'll connect it in a minute. And she was struggling massively because her own mother was also bullying her. So she was bullied at work, she was coming back home, and she was bullied at home. So it's a disaster situation where many people actually are living in, right? Without disclosing that. Right. So after several months of working with me, she not only lost her weight, and I'm not a weight specialist. I'll say straight away, I'm not a weight loss specialist. Okay. But as a result of working on yourself, you naturally want to look after yourself. She started going to gym. She started looking after her diet. She dropped the weight. She qualified as a personal trainer. It's an unbelievable story, seriously. And even through COVID-19, she was thriving. It's unbelievable story. Seriously. I remember she moved out from her home because she became really successful financially. She bought her own home with her partner. She met a partner. It's just amazing. And so every so often I get a message from her, Olga, this is what happens. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. So it's personal, but still it was work related. She was not happy at work. She was not performing well at work because she hated what she was doing. Right?
That's incredible. Olga, thank you so much. Just remind us before you go how we can contact you and get more information about the wonderful work that you do.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate you asking that. Well, I'm sure there'll be links below this video to my website, to my Facebook, to my LinkedIn as well. You can also go to my YouTube channel, subscribe and watch some of the videos. Hopefully that will inspire you and hopefully that will motivate you to change your life. But remember, the minute you change your mindset, you change your life. This is the message I would like to leave with.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's great.